Hi, Stephanie Stevenson here, otherwise known as Watercolor Artiste in online circles, and I'm the artist of midlifeartist.com, and I'd like to welcome you to my one day late live stream for the week. I normally live stream on Wednesday nights, but I was not feeling well yesterday, and I'm still got some coughing here and there today, but it's not as bad as yesterday. So if I end up, I got the cough drops in case I do too much talking. So, which of course on a live stream you end up doing. So I've come prepared. I got water, I got my cough drops. I feel a little better than yesterday. Yesterday was a double whammy. I had the allergy coughing spasms. I had the sinus headache and lots of fatigue. So it just wasn't going to happen last night. So I wanted to make sure I got in a live stream. So I just decided, what the heck, let's do Thursday night. So welcome. If you're new here, I do a live stream once a week, mainly on Wednesdays. And sometimes I do pop-up live streams impromptu. So, like, subscribe, hit the bell, and that type of thing at the bottom of my channel, so that way you don't miss an opportunity to catch me, especially if I'm doing an impromptu live stream. Got lots of stuff going on, and I can't afford to be sick, so chop chop, as they say. So welcome. Let me just make sure everything's working here. I'm going to trigger a fake test message. Okay, here we go. Got that. I'm not sure where my okay. Well, just in case, I try to have a stream chat going, and in any case, I don't think it's working. Is it working? No. In any case, I'm not going to get bogged down with that. I want to get underway. Let me go to my news and events page. So some good news. I have been accepted as an exhibiting artist in the Creative Arts Fest exhibition that opens the weekend of September 18th and 19th, I believe, and goes through the end of October. So I had submitted artwork to it, 6 pieces. My Lot's Wife painting entitled Before She Looked, my Dancer's painting, which is Rehearsal at Dusk, my Fireman painting, my White Mouse painting of Nancy Wake, the World War II heroine, and my Ghost of the Interior painting, which is a fantasy piece based on loosely based on my character and my husband's tabletop role-playing game. And then A Light in the Darkness, which is based on Psalm 119. Thy word is a lamp unto my feet and a light to my path. And out of those 6, 4 were accepted, which was my Dancers, my Fireman, my Amazon, and The Light in the Darkness. Excuse me. Lot's Wife and the White Mouse did not make the cut, but that's okay. I'm proud of them too. So yeah, so the exhibition opens up on Friday. Let's see, Friday, September 18th. They have a big gala on that evening. And then they have an arts fest that weekend, that Saturday and Sunday, which is a tent festival with vendors, for which I have applied, but I have not received notice of whether I've been accepted as an artist vendor for the 2-day event as well. If I can, great. That means I might be able to sell prints and originals. And if I don't, that's okay. I've got the exhibition. So we'll see how it goes. I was focusing on this event for September. So we'll see how it goes. But that's the good news. The other good news is, and I'm going to go back to my solo here, is I got a new easel. It's one of those Meeden adjustable ones. I currently have my Elijah painting, which is almost done, on it. And it is a great one because it's on wheels. It tilts back so you can do a complete horizontal table, so you can work on the canvas like that, or you can tilt it up straight 90 degrees and work on it straight on instead of angled like some my other easels are. So I now have this. This was on my wish list, and it was gifted to me by my sister-in-law for my birthday. My birthday was last Saturday, as was hers. We share the same birthday. So yeah. So yeah, welcome. Just trying to see. Am I live? Okay. I'm not seeing anything in the chat, so I'm not sure what's going on. Are you guys, give me a thumbs up if you're in the chat. Say hello. Ah, Crazy Bear's there. Great. Good. I was getting a little nervous. Like, is anything working? It is Thursday. I don't have my usuals showing up probably because of that, but that's okay. I'm glad. I know I've got some viewers that are lurking in the background, and that's okay. I'm a lurker too, so I see you, or I don't really, but you know, I know you're there, so welcome. But I started a new painting, and I'm showing you my palette cam. I'm not going to show that fully unless I have no chatters, but I've got my palette set up, mainly blues and some, I got this blue that I mixed up for the canvas the other night when I started it. I got some trans red oxide, trans yellow oxide. Um, what is this one called? Cobalt teal, cerulean blue, titanium white, and then ground white, and then yellow ochre. If I need more, I'll put some more out. But I've got some big painting to do, and I'm not going to have this showing completely. So I have it here, but my chat window may go over, so I may just shut off my palette cam. This is palette cam here. So, but yeah, this is, yeah, I can't even get the full painting in the full camcorder view, but this canvas here is 24 inches, excuse me, by 48 inches. So it's actually 4 feet tall. And so it is a definite tall piece, not wide, but tall. And so I am doing a composition that complements the orientation of the canvas, which is a rock climber, and with a sunset in the background of this beautiful, you know, and again, you can't see the bottom third of this canvas right now, but I'm going to be working mainly up here. So I figure that's fine. I'll angle the camcorder up there, and we'll go from there. But so yeah, this is, I think I can take out my webcam here, and then I will do my chat window over here. There we go. And so yeah, so I'm gonna get started. What's happening here is that I've got an underpainting started in cerulean blue and Prussian blue that I worked on the other night. It's an old master's methodology where you lay down one color, and then you pull out your brights and you push in your darks to get your tonal values, or get a good idea of those. So, and you choose a color, and in this case, I looked at the source that I was working with, and I decided blue was okay. I've worked in blue before, like my Amazon painting, I started off with a blue background. So these are cliffs, obviously, here. And we've got a rock climber hanging. I don't have him well established here. I got him blocked in because I wanted to get him right in the composition, but he's certainly got, I need to do some work on him. So yeah. I did take a cough drop. Hopefully that'll help me out here. I'm going to angle my webcam up a little bit to focus on the top portion of this canvas because with a painting that has landscape, you want to work from back to front. Let's see here. Nope. Okay. Just trying to get it so it's not. Is it blurry to you guys? Let me know in the chat if it's blurry. I don't mean for it to be. I apologize if my cough drop usage is coming through on the mic. I hope it's not. But so I've got some leftover blue on the palette here from when I laid this in. And I am using oils. But the sky in the background is darkest, and it's not really dark at all, actually, but it is darkest up top because we've got a sunset in the background. So I'm going to try to establish in this live stream the sky and the landscape in the background. And I'm not going to worry about painting over the edges of my cliffs and such because I think this will dry before I get to that part. I'm going to put some of my Galkid, which is fast drying medium, on the palette. And try to get this going. I got to put up my picture so I can see what I'm doing. There we go. So yeah, I'm the underpainting isn't you know, you're going to paint over it, so it's not critical to maintain it. It's a placement, a way to place the composition for you without drawing on the canvas, and you can paint over it as you go, but you're not really losing anything, you're gaining. So yeah, I'm not worried about the edges where the background touches the edges of the foreground rock structures or cliff structures because I'm going to be painting over that anyway. So I know where they are. I've placed them on the canvas. Heck, I might even lightly paint over him, not to, you know, only to obscure him so that when I do come in and paint over him, it'll be easier to do. Hey, Zan. How you doing tonight? Thanks for joining. Appreciate it. Feel like I haven't been doing much lately, but sometimes you just can't help it. So yeah, this is a I don't rock climb. There's no reason to do that, from my opinion. I'm not afraid of heights. You know, I was before a wife to a pilot, so you know, and I used to fly a lot. And I'm also of the opinion that you don't jump out of a perfectly good airplane, like skydiving. You know, it just doesn't seem right. You know, if the airplane's in good operating condition, there's no reason to jump out of it. So, so yeah, I'm getting in the sky. The sky is going to be super easy, but as I get closer to the sunset here, my blues, my very light blues, are going to turn into pale orange, burnt umber, pale, you know, and then the sun here. So I do need to watch how far I'm taking this. How's it going, Zin? Have you been able to work on any artwork lately, or are you still so busy in your regular job? I got some boogers on the canvas. You never want boogers on the canvas. No burgers or burgers. Yeah, don't want the boogers. Is is the camcorder view blurry to you guys? If it is, I need to maybe try to adjust it. Ah, yeah, well, I haven't seen much from you lately, and I was wondering if maybe life got in the way for you. I miss seeing your artwork, so you'll have to try to get something going. So you can still see a hint of the guy there. Like I said, he's just blocked in. I wanted to get his height right to the composition. Now I'm getting closer to the. It is a little blurry. Okay, let me see if I can make it less blurry. I don't know if I can. Okay, now if I go in closer, does that make it more blurry? Probably. I don't know. I don't know why. Looks like I got something up here on the canvas, but I don't. Maybe that's oh, that's my monitor. My computer equipment in here gets a little bit dusted with paint sometimes, especially if I'm doing splattering effects. I gotta do better at covering them up. A little blurry. All right, I gotta figure out how to make it so it's not so blurry. I'm afraid if I have to back it out, then you can't see as well. But you can't see as well up close either, so. Let's see here. Which way am I going? Okay, so we'll back it out. I'm just trying to see if I can't. I'm gonna angle it down a little bit. You can see me work here. So now I'm getting into an area of sky that I really I don't want too much blue, so I don't want it to turn green. So take some of that out because I need to turn this off here. Well, before I do that, I'll mix my color. Oh my goodness, my poor palette knife is looking a little rough. A little rough, I have to say. I wonder if I want to get some of the warmth, because this is very cool right now, but that sunset in the back is a warm sunset. I'm going to block in. I think since there's blue in this, I'm going to take a different paintbrush and use it for the other color, so I don't have improper mixing. So down here, I'm going to temper this with more titanium white, but I need to at least get the color started. Okay, so now that, let me do this. There we go. All right. So yeah, I'm going to use a little bit more Galkit. Again, fast drying medium. Get a little bit of the white. Mixing in here. So yeah. I need to add more white here. So lots of stuff going on in the world and in the personal life, but like I said, I'm happy that I'm going to be on exhibit in September through October. I am planning to travel again. If you've been following along with me, you know that I'll be traveling in early September to go visit my adult sons and meet my second grandson, who's going to be making his grand entrance into the world. So I'm excited about that. And you can see that the sky, again, is just pretty basic. And you can see, you know, that even though I've got a blue underpainting, that you can paint right over it because, you know, it's dry and it's not going to upset the balance of the painting, but it helps you pick the right colors instead of just a white background. And, you know, I know that A lot of people don't understand that, and I don't have a good way of explaining it myself. But colors look different against different backgrounds. If you're an artist, you probably already know this. But if you're not, then it might be a surprise to you. But if you work on a canvas or a paper, plain white paper, and you're trying to get colors right, sometimes you don't get it right because it's the white of the paper totally, messes you up. And like I said, I'm not good at trying to explain that. There are other people who do that better than I do. But so you can see I got the hint of a sun, but I don't have enough contrast in the sky yet because I need to get some of the orangey color in there. Again, I'm not worried about the edges of this because the cliffs are pretty much foreground and those are going to get done last, so I'll be painting over to the edges later. Down here is where there's a lot of orange because it's closer to the horizon. And this is a very blendy, smooth kind of thing because the sky is far distant background and almost cloudless in the reference. So, and I could change that all I want if I wanted to, and I might. Who knows? But yeah. And I'm even painting over the edges of what will be the distant hills down there. But you can see now I've got a gradation of sky already started now. And I'm working from light to dark on some of these areas. Hey, Ray. Welcome aboard. Hello, hello. I like the pop of color that the light pale burnt umber is bringing to the painting. Again, this is a very smoothie, very blendy kind of area of the painting. And again, I've got his toe all the way down here. You can see a faint image of him. So I'm not worried about that because, like I said, I can still see him and I've got him placed on the canvas in the composition. Let's see here. So yeah, so again, I love being high atop a mountain looking out across the way, like at was it Rock City up in Tennessee. You can see is it 7 states or 10 states? I think it's 7 states from the top of that plateau up there. and it's quite something, and it's beautiful. And I have no, I have no fears when I'm up there. Of course, you know, if I'm hanging off the side, hanging on for dear life, that's a different story, of course. But I don't ever usually find myself in that predicament. But but yeah, I am not a person that is like, oh yeah, I think I should go skydiving. And I know people who've gone skydiving and they've sworn by it. And I know that my husband, if given the opportunity, he would probably do it uh, if I would let him. And I'm just not sure I would let him. So yeah. So yeah, I've got the sky kind of going there. Now in the background here, I've got distant hills that are actually, yeah, zoom this up a little bit so I can see it better myself. Various shades of the same kind of coloring. So this has even got to get white, lighter, I think. But I can always make those adjustments as I go. I would say that I do a little bit of both the trans red and trans yellow oxides for this distant hill in the background. You know what? I see a lot of there we go. Yeah, this is a painting I actually have to kind of stand to paint because it's so tall. This is a 24 by 48 inch canvas. So it's definitely challenging that I would probably have to worry about how long I work on this for my back's sake. I have someone new on YouTube. Did I miss it? Hold on, I gotta. Hello, everybody. Very cool. Sorry, I don't have everything going here. I gotta try to do better with that, with the whole chat window on my desktop while I'm live streaming. How to do better? I got to do better. Yeah, I just, Ron likes to talk about how his luck is so bad, and then he decides that he wants to go on a trip to go flying out of a perfectly good airplane. I just, I don't want to support that possibility of him being right about his luck. So no, I need you in my life, baby. All right. How are we doing there? Okay, so now this one I've been holding in my hand and all over the place, probably touched my pants. I probably got paint on my pants. You can see that orangey, it's a darker orange of the distant hill already taking shape. And again, I have to bring in gradations. This one down here is a much closer ridge, so it's going to be darker and a different color. Well, it'll be a different color, yes, but I'll have to work on the sun rays and stuff like that on this. So you already see that's kind of really taking shape here. And then as it comes closer, I guess I should move my camcorder. You can actually see my palette cam there. Let's see if I can't get this to go down a little bit. Got a little bit of an obscured view because of the corner of my table. You can see the canvas still keeps going down even below the surface of my table. Yeah, no Dodge Tomahawk for you either. That is correct. Winner, winner, winner. I'm a mean wife, wanting my husband to be safe and all. You know. Yeah, that's not going to work right now. Okay. That's fine. It's getting a little too blendy. I may have to just work on this a little more later. Okay. So there's that. And then the different ridges coming forward have to be yet a different, I wonder, it's almost a green brown, so, but still faded. See what that looks like. I might have to do a palette check on some of this. Yeah, that's not. It still seems too dark. Probably all this will have to get lightened up. If you could see me, I'm bending down. I'm standing, and I should really do squats as I do this. Get some squats in. And all this I can just make up as I go along. I can get these things kind of. I'm just trying to get the blue covered at this point and try to find some of these ridges in the distance. I'll have to come back in later when the paint is drier and make some more delineations. Okay. Whew. I'm starting to get warm. All right, hold on a second. I'm going to put on my Wonder Woman cape, take off my sweatshirt, so bear with me. But yeah, getting the sky going is important. Let's see here. There we go. I'll try to stand with the canvas in a full view shot at some point. All right. Whew. I got a little warm. I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to move my chat window so I can see better. The one that I look at. There we go. It's true. What he's saying about him having to flail behind, hanging on to the handlebars as he's going. So yeah, that is absolutely a true statement. And he knows it. Him and his ideas. All right. Definitely need to. Here, it's definitely trying a little bit of a blue with my transparent red oxide to kind of get a neutral reddish brown. Down here. And then this is going to be much darker. And I'm actually mixing trans red oxide with my cerulean blue. Oops. I'm sorry. I didn't realize I hadn't put my mic closer to me. You probably can't even hear me. Yeah, no fleeing day. You know, he's crying about all that, but he should thank me. uh, so I have an opportunity to go meet Miss Kim Corbett in September. Uh, so yeah, I'm kind of excited about that because, you know, she's not that far away from me actually. So yeah, you know, and she's along the way that I'd be traveling up to, you know, up north because, you know, when you're going 81, you're pretty much straight shotting it all the way through Virginia once you get there from Tennessee and the like. So this is all a very hazy kind of landscape. It's because it's so far in the distance, you really don't have a lot of detail. All you have is ridge lines and sunlight, and so it's actually quite challenging to get this right. You can see that brings it much closer to the foreground, this one. Yeah, Ron's a wackadoodle. If you didn't know that yet, you should know because he's got some pretty wackadoodle ideas. And so Zin, are you doing anything special with your daughter for her birthday, or did you rather? I thought I read it today that her birthday's tomorrow, so I don't know if you're tomorrow being Friday is probably a good day to do something, but you are retired. Whether she is or not, I don't know, but just wondering what's what the plan was. There. Now, let's see here. I think what I'll do is, as I always do, I show you the, let me put palette cam on here. Hold on a second. Okay. I'll have to try to put that in the right spot. But it's hard to get it in the full view. So you see how it goes all the way down to the bottom, all the way to the top. So let me show you what I'm working from so you can see that. So you can see quite a contrast in lights and darks. So I have an opportunity to kind of really do some nice coloring in the rock and the like. But you can see how the landscape is more hazy and blendy with not a lot of distinction. So the background is what's easy tonight to work on. So you can now see kind of what I'm doing. So I got to figure out how the immediate foreground of the landscape's going to look. But yeah, all the edging. That's why I wasn't too worried about going over the edges of the underpainting because you don't want to look like your paintbrush started here. So I'll have to work on that. Maybe do another layer of sky. So yeah, get this back up. There we go. There we go. Go back to, now I gotta get this back in view. It's hard to get this in view. It's so big. Oh my gosh. Yeah, oh, I didn't mean Ray. Sorry, guys. That's what happens when you paint and talk at the same time. Oh, that's awesome. Awesome. Let's see here. Maybe I should start blocking in some of the color up here, maybe. Since I've got transparent red oxide and yellow, I got all the right colors here. So, yeah, me and Lisa celebrated our birthdays last Saturday. She's 5 years younger than me, so, but we have the same birth date. See here. Because this is a transparent red oxide mixture, I'm kind of doing a base first, because that's the whole idea of transparent red oxide, is that it's got transparency to it, so you can almost do a glaze. Oh, and of course, you can't see that because I don't have this angled up right. There we go. Oh, all the way up there. Okay. See? I don't have a big enough space for you to see this with the good cameras, but let's see here. There we go. So yeah, I'm taking essentially transparent red oxide to this. And just getting a glaze going over this. This is such a big canvas. This is new territory for me. Up until this painting, my biggest was the 30-inch square of the Amazon and Resilient. So yeah, listen, I don't know square inch wise if it's the same or bigger, but yeah, I'm getting this so that the blue is covered up. You can not be scared of an underpainting. So don't be scared of an underpainting. I learned that the first time I kind of really learned that was with my Amazon painting. I was so nervous about it, doing an underpainting in blue and all that stuff, and it turned out to be just fine. No need to be scared. And the red over the blue in the darkest areas really isn't going to make a huge difference because I'm coming in with darker browns and stuff for that anyway, but because I'm working it as a glaze, I really need to be more prolific with loading my brush with paint. I keep scraping this canvas and I shouldn't need to. I should just go ahead and not be afraid to load my brush up with paint and just go with gusto. Gusto! Get a little bit of that going. I'm adding a little bit of the transparent yellow oxide. But you can still see, even though I've got a glaze going, you can see where the darkest areas are that I come in later, and I pull out the lightest lights when this is dry with a smaller brush. And yeah. My dad put up with my choices for a while. He didn't want me to make the choice of the first guy I married. No one did, actually. I should have taken that as red flags, but if I had listened to them, then I wouldn't have my sons now. So, you know, wow, holy cow! I'm looking at the painting in the playback window on my computer, and that just really, wow. Okay, not bad. That is cool. How it's turning out. All right, very good, very good. Now down here, it's actually going to be a little lighter. So I'm going to glaze a little lighter just to indicate that this is a lighter. It's the sun's hitting this more than the underside of the, and I'm using a lot of the thinner, not the thinner, but yeah, there we go. Down here in the reference photo, it's definitely lighter. So I wanted to register that. Like, make sure you do lighter. But already, holy cow. You see how that looks? That's not bad. Wow. Okay, see, I'm trusting the process and it's rewarding me. How about that? All right, I need a little more trans yellow oxide. I try to make sure I don't put too much paint down because I don't like wasting paint at all. So, I see some artists, they just flop down paint on there, and I'm like, that could be so wasteful. Don't do that. This side is actually more of a yellowy brown, where this side is more of a trans red oxide. Oops. Yeah, stop putting your fingers in there, Stephanie. So what I need to do is make this more yellow in its, I'm running out of space on the smaller palette, but this is more of a yellow or brown, light brown kind of rock. So I need to take that into consideration. Not as red. I need to try to get this done before I go on my trip in early September. So I really need to kick this one and drive, as big as this is, and get it complete, or as close to complete as possible, because if I do get into the tent festival of the Creative Arts Guild event, then I need to have paintings on my tent walls. And because, like I said, I got 4 paintings in the exhibition. That means they're not going to be on my tent walls. They're going to be up in the exhibition hall. So, and I needed all of those for my tent walls. So that's part of the reason why I am working so big. But the bigger it is, the longer it may take to finish. So Yeah, it's like I said, I'm just, wow, look at that, it's really coming out better than I anticipated. I never give myself credit for working on methodologies that have been proven successful for other artists. And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, is it going to work for me? Like suddenly the paint and the glaze isn't going to work for me because I'm Stephanie and I got the black cloud that follows me everywhere kind of scenario. I was like, oh my gosh, it is working for me. Yay! And most of this blue was already dry. I don't think there was actually there wasn't really any wet spots per se. But you can see the difference in tone value, I mean, the color value on this because, again, that side has a different kind of overall color value than the right side. So this glaze really kind of sets the mood of this painting. It really gets those rocks showing their true colors. So yeah, glazing can really be successful if you try it and trust the process. And to tell you the truth, I haven't been one to trust it, and it's rewarding me tonight with with a look on these that just really pop. Like, oh my God, there's the rock. I'm almost done with it. It almost looks like I'm almost done with it. How about that? So down lower, I should be back into the red glaze here because it gets dark in the shadowy area here. I've been using a lot of Galkid tonight too. Well, when you think about it, this is a big canvas. I'm using a lot more paint and a lot more Galkid and a lot more everything. And that's cool. I mean, I'm okay with that. I got the paint, I got the Galkid. All right, I'll have to pan here. Let me lower it where I was working so you can see. So yeah, this is brighter on this side, and then this is darker down low. Let's do another palette cam so you can see. All right. So yeah, of course the glare is coming out, but so yeah, right now that rock looks like rock now, doesn't it? It's so cool how that turned out. Now again, I'm going to show you the reference photo so you can see what I mean. Again, I don't have the brightest brights in there, but you can see. Now when you're looking at this, you're seeing this very dark in the video, but in person it's not as dark. So, but yeah, but not bad considering. So you saw that it was all an underpainting of blue, and what's turning out is the colors are getting added. Now again, I got to figure out what I'm doing down there because that's all kind of nebulous, as you can see. So, but yeah, how about that? I trusted the process and it's working for me. Now this seems a little repetitive, so I think maybe I did, I'll have to work on this and make this my own probably as time goes on, but yeah, not bad. I'm I'm impressed with the methodology. Again, uh, I wasn't using a small brush, I was using big brushes, but I laid down uh, when I laid down the underpainting, and then I used big brushes on the rocks, and I just tried to not outline, but block in the darks, leaving and pull out the lighter colors. And I can still see that in the underpainting. And then I still got the guy here, so I can see him and I can get him painted in accurately. And so yeah, I've got a good start here, I think. So not bad, not bad. Again, I'm going to definitely paint over these to get rid of some of these weirdo wacko lines that I did in the underpainting, where I'm bringing out those lights, because these lines are definitely to show me where I need to pull out the lights while I'm pushing in the darks. And like I said, this should be fairly easy to render when I pull out some of the lights here. And then I just define these edges really harshly with the paintbrush against the sky, and so they're not fuzzy, because they're fuzzy right now because I'm just getting the color blocked in over the underpainting. But yeah, so let me see if I can. No, I don't know if I can. I pulled this back, I think, all the way. Did I pull it back? Yeah. Yeah, it's hard. I can't get it all into the painting or the frame of the camera. But yeah, isn't that cool? I'm just excited about that. I'm excited. So yeah, there we go. And it looks like I did a ton of painting on this tonight, and it hasn't even really been well, it's been just over an hour. So I'm taking a break to sit down because I've been standing painting this. But wow, yeah. Now it's all wet, so I don't know if I'm going to try to pull out the whites, because the lighter colors, because they'll just blend in. So I may have to let this sit, in which case I'm going to switch over to my new easel and try to paint a few of those fireballs coming out of the Elijah painting. So let me see about pulling this back. And as I do, I'll move my new easel into place. So let's see here. I got puppy pads to catch any any paint on the wood floor in here. Wow. Okay, let me just. I got it in full view now because I pulled it all the way back. Let's see if I can. There we go. To the. You can see how tall it is compared to me. It's on the easel, so it looks like it's as tall as me. I'm 5'3" tall, or short, however you want to call it. So I know it looks as tall as me, but that's because it's sitting at least a foot off the ground on the easel. So, but this is by far my tallest painting. Someone do the quick calculation of square footage of 24" by 48" versus 30" square, and tell me which one's bigger. Quick, tap, tap. I'm going to move my other canvas. I'm not used to moving this new easel, so trying to make sure I don't fumble. I'm trying to figure out how to maneuver this. We just put it together the other night, and it only has rollers on the front legs, not the back legs. So you have to tilt it up a little bit in order for righty-tighty, lefty-loosey stuff. Okay, who did the calculations? Anybody? Bueller? Bueller? Come on, teacher. Oh, I was just saying, come on, teacher. You can't top out. So 24 inches times 48 inches gives you a square footage of inches, or square inches. So I just don't have a calculator on me, and I'm not Sheldon. So what I was doing was putting the puppy pad on the bottom. I'm going to try to protect the, I know it's stupid, but I'm going to try to protect the edges of this, because it's such a pretty wood, this easel. Now I'm going to angle this down so you guys can see. There's our Elijah painting. All right, hold on. Maybe I'm gonna lower this down a little bit now that I'm not doing as tall of a painting. Tell you, I don't know why this is not holding steady, but oh well. Okay, so yeah, I've got some fireballs coming out. They're not huge, but they're just enough that if you're standing there, you'd see them. But maybe I need to make a couple of big ones and one in the darkness of the sky as it's, exploding out as it went whoosh. It goes whoosh. Sound effects and everything. If the canvas could have sound effects, right? All right. All right, y'all. I'll do it. I will do it. Let's see. So 24 inches times 48 is 1,152 square inches, which is definitely bigger than a 30-inch square, which is 900 square inches. So I am working not only on the tallest canvas I've ever worked on, but the biggest one on the rock climber. So, yeah, you guys are just, I know Ron's at his computer. He could have pulled up his calculator and done that, but no, somebody wasn't paying attention. All right, I'm pulling out my smaller brushes because, like I said, I'm going to try to do some fireballs. Yeah, and what I need is another color, my burnt umber, which I'm almost out of. You can see that. So I need to get some more of that. It's a color I use often, and that's it's gonna be used to push in some of the darks of the rock climber. So yeah, that's the plan. See, thank you, Zen. Thank you, thank you. I know it's not close enough for you guys to see that really well, but let's see. I think I want to do, wow, I got a lot of, not what I wanted, a lot of fluid coming out there. I wanted it to be thicker, then more fluidy. Yeah, you guys can't really see this that far away. So yeah, definitely working on my largest canvas with that one, the rock climber. Now I don't want to call it just the rock climber, even though that is what it is. I wonder what I could use for a title for that one when it's all said and done. You know, something original, pithy, whatever. Pithy. Isn't that what Rush Limbaugh used to say, pithy? Or was that somebody else? All right. I got that one. All right. Let's see. How do I want to do this? Let me count the ways. 'Ain't no mountain high enough. The ascent. Okay. Those are good ones. So I want to put a slightly larger boulder, a fireball coming out. And Ron suggested I do it kind of up in this area here or maybe on this side. I already have one kind of popping out here. So should I try one on this side? Up here maybe? You know. And should I make it bigger than these smaller ones? What do you guys think? Oh, there was a 2-minute lag in posting. I wonder why that was. Usually it's only a 30-second to a minute. I wonder why that was. Weird. All right. I think because I have this one coming out over here, I am gonna have one coming out. I know if I do it bigger, it's gonna look like it's more forward. Part of me wants to do that because the viewer is standing there and maybe the viewer should take cover, you know, but I'm afraid to get too big. I'm afraid to get too big with this boulder. Oh, Stephanie, just do it. Don't be scared. You can always paint over it in the dark colors if it doesn't turn out. Just do it. So just so you know, you're all watching me using my new easel for the first time. And thank you to my sister-in-law, Lisa, for gifting it to me for my birthday. Well, maybe what I'll do is I am making this one bigger. Um, I wonder if maybe I'm looking on the desktop view of what you guys are seeing. Should I have it maybe down lower if I did one over here where this one's higher? I do have one here that's kind of already on the downward trek. I'm wondering if I should do a really dark one that's big in this section as if it's, you know, big in perspective coming at the viewer, but will that really register? I don't know. Let's see. Well, higher makes it look more explosive. I do think that's true. This one, just adding this one and looking at it, like, whew, but I really feel like I either need to make some of these ones here in the middle that's up against the brightness of the blast really bigger. Maybe I should try this one. I'll make this a little bigger along with its little dwarf one. I'll take palette cam here in a minute and show you what this is looking like. There we go. Yeah, let me do palette cam real fast so you guys can see this a little closer. Palette cam. So here's the one I just added. Here's one I kind of made a little bigger and a little brighter. This I just made a little bigger. This one too. And then there's this one. So you can now see how it's looking as you're up close. If you were standing at the canvas, this is kind of how you'd see it without the glare, of course. But I need to fix the ground a little bit here. But what do you guys think of that? Huh, okay. I wonder why that is. When you say on the phone, you mean my palette cam, Ray? You can see my palette's really taking a beating tonight. Okay. Well, I'm not sure why there's such a lag. But yeah, so I got these ones that are in the fire, coming out of the brightness of the fire. I think those being made bigger helps with that concept of it kind of coming at the viewer, maybe. And then maybe I'll make this, well, I'll do another one up here. What do you say? Or is that too in line with this now? I definitely think those fireballs make a difference. Hi, Carissa Fisher. Thank you. I don't think you would see those white outlines of the people. I think their bodies would blend into the darkness. Just put more people on the ground there running. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I definitely got, the impression of more people on the sides, but I definitely don't have more people running in the foreground. And these figures, particularly, Carissa, are the ones that had me most um, anxiety ridden because this is not something I've ever painted before. So, but yeah. You should never put me in a box ray or in a corner or on a mobile or in a mobile phone to take a cue from Dirty Dancing. Never put. Oh, well. Anyway, I totally flubbed that, didn't I? Excuse me. I may need another cough drop. Just make the ground lighter to make them stand up. Okay, or stand out. Gotcha. Yeah, you mean around them because of the light, you know, the brightness of the fire. The ground around them should be a little lighter, is what you're saying, right? And then they'll stand out more, is what you're saying. I thought about that, and I can certainly do that. So yeah, I'll have to see. Right now, I'm trying to get a little bit more accurate um, brightness on the ground here. Now, the reason this is reflecting so much is because the story in in Scripture is that he doused the altar and a trench 3 times with water as a sort of handicap, to borrow a golfing term. So there's an indication of wetness here that would, excuse me, I apologize, that would have reflectivity of the brightness of this fire. Okay, so yeah, I may consider that, because I do think that if I had the ground, and it only has to be a little lighter. It's not like, because the ground, if it's just a little lighter, that's going to set these figures down on the ground, because the shadows that I do have painted shadows here, but because the ground is so dark, it's hard to see, especially on live stream. Maybe I should put a fireball up in here. Well, anyway, I've hit 9:30, and I always only go to 9:30. So let me go back to my frontal view here. Hi there. Okay. So yeah, ooh, I need to, again, this is a different easel, and it doesn't move as well as easy as the other ones from a sitting down position. But yeah, well, thank you for joining me. I hope I didn't cough too terribly on live stream. Again, like, the allergies have been kicking my butt, like the upper respiratory. Like, I can breathe, I can do belly breathing without coughing. It's like if I do shallow breathing using the upper lungs, the upper respiratory, then suddenly I can't breathe or talk as well. So I apologize. But anyway, thank you for putting up with me tonight. And thank you for watching me with the other painting, my biggest painting so far, right? Excuse me, I am going to suck on a cough drop so I don't cough anymore with you guys. But thanks for joining in. Thanks for sharing. I'm going to continue to work on this one until I get all the tweaks done just right, and I'm happy with it. Taking into consideration all the suggestions that I've gotten, because I think some of them are very valid. Um, and uh, and I got to continue to work on my rock climber. So I may do an impromptu live stream between now and next Wednesday to continue to work on that and to hold myself accountable to get it done, because I do need to get it done before I go on my trip in September. Because when I come back from my trip in September, I'm going to have like 4 days to prepare for what would be my potential tent event, as well as the exhibition opening gala. So I'll be squeezing a lot into a lot of short time frame. So getting to work on this, doing it live stream, really holds me accountable, helps me get in there and get it done. So feel free to like, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications if you want to see me continue to work on these paintings, especially the rock climber, since that's my newest one. So if I do an impromptu, you'll get a notification. I appreciate you again joining me tonight on a Thursday, which I'm normally on a Wednesday. We'll see what the week holds. So you all have a good rest of the week. Have a good weekend, and I'll see you next time.